Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today, I've got something a little different for you. Lower tier game. We're on Big Race, Capture the Base mode, in the Tier 3 Premium German Destroyer G101. Now, you might be wondering, why are you featuring this game? Usually, you got some higher tier gameplay on this channel. Well, this game was just too good to pass up. You know, on a weekly basis, there are those premium missions that require you to get a win in premium ships tiers 2 through 7. So, every week, usually on Sunday, I take out a premium tier 3 ship. Got a couple to choose from. This particular Sunday, for whatever reason, I was just having a very hard time getting a win in a standard Tier 3 premium ship. Mostly because, well, twofold reasons, right? Number one, it's not like the Tier 3 ships are the most capable, powerful ships in the game. Some of them are pretty good, like the Tier 3 Arkansas, which I had tried using, but... And then, you know, some of them are like the G101, which... It's a distinctly, in my opinion, mediocre destroyer, but there's something about it that I do like, and I tend to have a lot of success in it. So, this is a video where I have a lot of success, I guess, but also it's kind of a heartbreaker. You'll see what I mean as we get into it. We're off to kind of a slow start here. We've spotted 2 enemy destroyers sailing in this direction. There's one of them again. So we're coming over here to try to deal with them. There are 3 destroyers on the enemy team, and we want to do what we can to take them out. So we're opening fire on the Wakeful. The results that we get aren't spectacular. We notice another one coming around this way, so we launch torpedoes kind of in the direction he's sailing. We're exposed here. We see some torpedoes heading our way from the Wakeful, so we are able to dodge those. And more torpedoes yet again. We've deployed a smoke screen. We're going to dodge these too. No real issue there. We want to slow completely down. Luckily, nobody's shooting at us yet. They probably should have, considering what we're going to end up doing to their team. But now, at a closer range where it's easier to get these guns to hit, no problem shaving off hit points from this Wakeful. He, after this salvo, goes down as our first kill of the match. And now we're going to look toward that Xarkun out there as our next target. So we're still hanging out in our smoke. Looks like the smoke cloud sent by the friendly destroyer is still there. We're going to leave some parting gifts for the Phoenix, who is sailing around that island. No idea if those are going to hit, but you never know. We take a shot at the Kolberg just because. Don't run into the island like a scrub. Beautiful deceleration and turn away from the giant obstacle in our paths there. And we are going to come around this island with an eye for that Xarkun. Checking on those torps, looks like the Campbelltown beat us to it, though, and that Phoenix has gone down, which is good. We're even on the ship count. As far as we're concerned right now, this game could go either way, and we probably are going to pretty effectively be able to take out that Xarkun if we can find him. In the meantime, just evaluating the enemy ships out there. We're going to see if we can't put some more torpedoes in their direction. Gangut is a particularly juicy target, but not quite as juicy as that Wakatake and that other Russian destroyer. I have no idea how to say that name, so not even going to try it. I think that's the Tier 2. Never actually played it. Anyway, we're going to launch torpedoes on the path that he's sailing. A lot of times at lower tiers, these people are just going to be taking out their first ships. So sometimes it does feel kind of dirty to be doing things like this, but I gotta get those wins in the Tier 3 premium ship. You know, luckily the Tier 2 Russian DD changes his course and those torpedoes don't hit him, so we're gonna open fire. No telling where that... Maybe it wasn't an Izokaze that I saw earlier. Maybe it was that Wakatake, or maybe it was this guy. Don't know why I'm saying Izokaze. Just now occurring to me that I might have misidentified the ship, because it turns out these are the only 2 destroyers left on the enemy team, and I do want to take them down, mostly because they are going to be a cap threat. Looks like my team is starting to fold a little. We've lost 4 enemy ships to 3, and it's very difficult to hit this tiny little target at a range of 6 kilometers. What I need to do is get closer. The shells on this G101 are incredibly floaty. They're kind of like Atlanta shells, really. Except a little bit more extreme, because we're getting big hang time at much shorter distances, and all these guys need to do to throw off my aim is move a little bit. So, you know, there's a tip for you if you're new to this game. You're in a Tier 3 destroyer, you're starting out that way, well, you've got it easy. A lot of things aren't going to be able to hit you very reliably, so just move your ship. Now, this guy's not moving his ship. He's telegraphing his intentions pretty well. He's obviously launching torpedoes my way, and weirdly, there they are. I just about turned into them, expecting them to be going the other way. Narrowly missed some more torpedoes from that Wakatake, and we do end up taking down that Russian destroyer. So that's 2 kills in this game. We're going to work on our 3rd here with this Wakatake, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong too. Maybe I should just call it the walkie-talkie. I don't know. In any case, he's smoked up, so we're going to launch some torpedoes toward where we think he might be. I don't think we're actually going to hit him, and I do believe he is going to exit this smoke screen pretty soon. We have an enemy ship approaching our base, so my initial thought that I was going to cap may not work out too well for me, considering that enemy has now entered our base and I have not started to accumulate any capture progress yet. Take down the Wakatake, and now instead of trying to cap, I am going back to our base. I was in a game, I think yesterday night, perhaps. It was a higher tier game. I think it was a tier 6 or a tier 7. And toward the end of the game, it was on fault line. Or maybe it was on straight. Might have been a tier 5 game. We had an enemy destroyer in our base, and we had a cruiser who was halfway between our base and the enemy cap. Now, I was in a battleship. It was the Nelson, in fact. So, not an extremely quick battleship. So I was pinging that cruiser to go back and defend the base. And I was headed toward the base myself. I just was never going to make it in time. Now, that cruiser said negative and instead elected to go try and cap the enemy base. He failed, of course, because that destroyer had a massive head start on him, so our base was capped before he could cap the enemy's. If you see an enemy capping your base and you haven't started capping before them, you are going to lose. You need to go back and defend your base 9 times out of 10. Now, if you start capping a full minute before the enemy starts capping, at that point you can stay on there and you're going to win. But if the enemy starts capping for you, abandon your cap. Go back and defend your base. Otherwise, you're going to lose. So that's what we're doing here. The sad part is, there's only me and another destroyer left versus this Caledon. Tier 2. Now, looking back on this game, I probably shouldn't have smoked up here. I'm between this Caledon and two enemy battleships that are closing in on me. I assumed incorrectly that the Caledon would be a gun threat to me. And now that I found myself in this position, I'm pretty sure that I'm dead here. So I'm going to charge out with the hope of sinking at least one of these battleships. Lost sight of the Gangut, but there he is. He's closest to me, so I elect to target him instead of the Wyoming. The torpedoes are out. Luckily, the Wyoming's accuracy is so poor that he is unable to hit me with any of his shots. I do have secondaries coming in at me, but they're not quite effective. And we are able to take out the Gangut for a devastating strike. The sad thing is we're not in the kamikaze, so our torpedoes don't reload quite as quickly. We do have one available, but it's on the front of the ship. We don't want to give this Wyoming even more opportunities to kill us here. So we are trying to disengage and get behind this island. The Wyoming does chunk us there for a pretty significant amount of hit points. We're less than half health right now. And in order to win this game, we're going to have to take out this Wyoming and this Caledon, who we have not forgotten about. He is still capping the base. That friendly Campbelltown is racing toward our position, but we just have to assume he's not going to be a lot of help. Now, I probably should have started shooting at that Caledon. You're going to see what I mean here very shortly. Instead, I line up torpedoes on this Wyoming, assuming that he's probably going to sail in a straight line and hit them. He misses me again. I open fire at the Caledon, who proves to be a much easier target to hit than the two tiny destroyers, even at longer ranges. He's just kind of sitting still. We're resetting his capture progress and doing a little bit of damage. As far as what he is doing to me, I am not sure. We do hit the Wyoming, and horrifically, it is not enough to take him out. So we switch fire to the Wyoming, who replies to us with his own guns and mostly misses. We're trying to light a fire on him. All we're getting is shatter after shatter after shatter on his armor and no fire. Could be that his damage control was still kicking as we started opening fire, and that's why we're not getting any fires. But it looks to me like we're actually not going to get a fire at all, which is really sad and probably what contributes most to the outcome of this game more than anything else. Now, I notice the Caledon is very close to me and very close to the enemy destroyer. Unfortunately, the Wyoming takes out the enemy destroyer, but I am shooting at the Caledon, assuming that he is going to be the biggest threat to me because he is a cruiser. Now, he is a tier 2 cruiser. You see there that he's got like 0 armor, so these guns are able to score citadels on him with HE. I launch more torpedoes at the Wyoming in hopes that these two will hit him and finally finish him off. Because at this point, I think I can take out the Caledon with my guns, provided I can get close enough. Unfortunately, I am pretty far away. Opening fire on this guy again, really just crossing my fingers that these torpedoes are actually going to hit their mark, but no such luck. The Wyoming is maneuvering, and he is going to miss all of those torpedoes. I'm going to have to get closer to both of them. I am scoring citadel hits now on the Caledon. Launch a further torpedo at that Wyoming, hoping this one will hit. But I think this guy has learned that sailing in a straight line is not a good play for him. He's moving around like a fish in water. Meanwhile, we are just kind of kicking the crap out of this poor Caledon. I assume this is a new player, and I apologize for this. This could be his first or second game, for all I know. And we're just eating away his hit points. I don't think he's been able to actually land a shot on me once. So here we are about to end him with a single shot, and with this much time left in the game, our torpedoes are too slow to hit the Wyoming. So the game ends, and we lose. But we did get a Kraken unleashed, and we almost won. So I guess the moral of this one is never give up. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.